हेलो चिल्ड्रन, वेलकम टू माय चैनल स्टडी टाइम। और मैं हूं गुरमीत कौर। आज हम चैप्टर करेंगे सोशल जस्टिस एंड द मार्जिनलाइज्ड ग्रुप्स के इम्पोर्टेंट क्वेश्चन आंसर्स। So question number 1 here is define marginalized. Marginalized क्या होता है? To be marginalized, it is to be forced to occupy the sides or fringes and thus not to be at the center of things. Means to be on the border. Fringes mean to be on the border, to be on the sides, and there are many social groups which are marginalized. These marginalization can be because they speak a different language, follow different customs, or belongs to a different religious groups from the majority community. तो इन basis पे जो है marginalization हो सकती है। अब marginalization जो होता है, इसका अगर हिंदी में मीनिंग है तो अधिकारहीन होना, उनसे उनके अधिकारों को छीन लेना। तो this is the first the term marginalized was used in France, और ये यूरोप में बहुत ही ज्यादा ये वर्ड जो है यूज होता है। इट्स वाइडली यूज्ड इन यूरोप। तो ये मार्जिनलाइज का मतलब है उन लोगों से उनके हक छीनना, उनके अधिकार छीने जाना। वो मार्जिनलाइज ग्रुप्स में आ जाते हैं और उनके बेसिस हो सकते हैं स्पीक अ डिफरेंट लैंग्वेज, फॉलो डिफरेंट कस्टम्स और बिलोंग टू डिफरेंट रिलीजियस ग्रुप फ्रॉम द मेजॉरिटी कम्युनिटी। Question number 2. Write a note on Gandhiji's crusade against untouchability. अब महात्मा गांधी raised a strong voice against untouchability. महात्मा गांधी ने इन लोगों के लिए बहुत काम किया. He launched a war against it. He used to say, my effort for the removal of untouchability is an integral part of my life. Integral means essential, very essential. It's kind of fundamental part of his life. And he further said that there is no warrant for untouchability in the Hindu Shastras. So in the removal of untouchability, Gandhiji saw the complete regeneration of humanity. He opened his ashram to them and many untouchables used to stay there. He gave to the untouchable a new name. What was the name? Harijan. That is the children of God. Harijan means children of God. He published a weekly paper called Harijan. He stayed in the Harijan colony and dined with them. तो उनके साथ वो खाना भी खाते थे. He invited them to the freedom struggle as equal partners. They began to take an active part in meetings, demonstrations and सत्याग्रह. तो इन्होंने ये जो marginalized group था जो अनटचेबल्स थे, अब उसको जो है पूरे अधिकार देने का उन्होंने स्टेप उठाया. Define the term minorities. The term minorities refers to such communities which are less than half of the total population of the country. So which is less than half of the total population of the country. Question number 4. What measures are safeguards are taken by the government for the minorities with the constitutional provisions? The measures and safeguards taken by the government for the minorities with the constitutional provisions. तो क्या क्या वो measures थे, safeguard हैं जो government ने जो steps उठाए हैं minorities के लिए? The National Minority Commission has been set up by the Constitution to promote the interest and welfare of the minorities in India. Cultural and educational rights provided in the Constitution guarantee to the minorities the right to conserving their language, script and culture, to receive education and administer educational institutions of their choice. तो उन्हें पढ़ाई लिखाई का भी प्रॉपर दर्जा उन्हें बराबर का दिया गया है. द गवर्नमेंट हैज नोटिफाइड 5 communities as minorities. वो कौन कौन सी है? दे आर मुस्लिम्स, क्रिश्चियंस, सिख्स, बुद्धिस्ट्स and Zoroaster. Question number 5. What measures are taken by the government for the welfare of SCs, STs and untouchable? तो ये scheduled caste, scheduled tribes और untouchables के लिए क्या क्या measures उठाए गए हैं? Following are the main measures. The Constitution of India has abolished untouchability and made its practice punishable under law. तो इसका अनटचेबिलिटी को कोई भी प्रैक्टिस करता है तो वो एक पनिशेबल ऑफेंस है. एजुकेशनल एंड इकोनॉमिक इंटरेस्ट ऑफ द वीकर सेक्शंस आर प्रोटेक्टेड एंड प्रमोटेड अगेंस्ट एनी फॉर्म ऑफ सोशल injustice and exploitation. A good percentage of jobs, 22.5% in the government, are also reserved for SCs and STs. The public health centers and clinics have been set up in rural and tribal areas for their welfare. Separate departments at the center in the state and union territories have been established to take care of the welfare of scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. Question number 6. Mention some of the acts which are constituted offences according to the SC/ST Act of 1989. The victim is a member of scheduled caste or scheduled tribe against whom any of the following offences is committed by the offender: forced to eat or drink an inedible substance, wrongfully deprived from the cultivation of his land, wrongfully deprived of his rights over any land, premises, or water, forced to begging or work as a bonded labor, a woman who is sexually assaulted, deprived of his rights to clean drinking water. Question number 7. What is the punishment prescribed under the act? तो क्या punishment prescribe की गई है? The act prescribes both minimum as well as maximum punishment. तो दोनों ही तरह की punishment को prescribe किया गया है, minimum भी maximum भी. The minimum in most cases in 6 months imprisonment, while the maximum is 5 years sentence along with fine. In some cases, the minimum is enhanced to 1 year, while the maximum goes up to life imprisonment or even death sentence. So even death sentence could be there. Question number 8. What are the disabilities suffered by untouchables? The untouchables suffer all kind of disabilities. इनके साथ क्या क्या होता है? They were not allowed to mix with the upper caste. Their touch of even their shadow was regarded as inauspicious. तो उसे वो बहुत ही बुरा मानते थे. They could not use the village well, tank, चौपाल. चौपाल होती है common sitting place in a village, tea shops, bathing ghats of holy rivers, schools, theaters, or even some streets. They could not enter temples of high caste or read the shastras. They could not join social functions like festivals or village sports. Financially, Shudras were the poorest. जो शूद्र होते हैं हिंदूज में, ये जो फाइनेंशियली बहुत ही ज्यादा वीक थे. हायर जॉब्स और प्रोफेशंस वर क्लोज्ड फॉर देम. ओनरशिप ऑफ लैंड वाज डिनाइड टू देम एंड सो दे वर्कड एज टेनेंट्स. तो वो अपनी जमीन नहीं खरीद सकते थे, उनको ओनरशिप कभी नहीं दी जाती थी. सो दे वर्कड एज टेनेंट्स और इवन एज बॉन्डेड laborers for the upper caste and did all sorts of menial jobs. Menial jobs होती हैं which do not require much skill and they lack prestige. तो मतलब कि बहुत ही low grade, low status jobs जो थी उनको दी जाती थी. Number 9. Define the following scheduled caste people who were formerly treated as untouchables in the society. Scheduled tribes, people living in the tribal areas who were economically backward and socially discarded. Untouchability, the practice of segregation followed by the upper caste of the Hindus. Segregation means keeping apart, मतलब कि उन्हें उस चीज से अलग रखा जाता. The practice of segregation followed by the upper caste of the Hindus. तो वो उनमें मिक्स नहीं होते थे. Question number 10. Name the vulnerable group that faced discrimination. Vulnerable होते हैं जो भी लोग इसकी चपेट में आए. Means capable of being hurt. तो इसकी वजह से किन किन लोगों पे अफेक्ट पड़ा? The vulnerable group that faced discrimination include women, untouchables, scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, children, aged, disabled, poor, migrants, people living with HIV और AIDS and minorities. तो ये सब जो हैं vulnerable groups हुए. Question number 11. Why are people experiencing marginalization? They may feel marginalized because क्यों उन्हें ऐसा लगता है? They are poor, considered to be of low social status. Sometimes marginalized groups are viewed with hostility and fear. Hostility means unfriendliness, है ना? उनके पास जाना, उनसे मिलना लोगों को पसंद नहीं आता. Sometimes marginalized groups are viewed with hostility, means unfriendliness and fear. The sense of difference and exclusion leads to communities not having access to resources and opportunities in their inability to assert their राइट्स, मतलब कि एंड एक्सक्लूजन लीड्स टू कम्युनिटी मीन एक्सक्लूजन का मतलब होता है प्रोसेस ऑफ एक्सक्लूडिंग, उन्हें उस चीज से निकाल देना, बैन कर देना, है ना, और नॉट हैविंग एक्सेस टू रिसोर्सेज एंड अपॉर्चुनिटीज नहीं दी जानी उनको, एंड देयर इनएबिलिटी टू एसर्ट, एसर्ट मीन्स टू स्टैंड अप फॉर डिफेंस, टू डिफेंड देमसेल्व्स, और अपने आप अपने राइट्स के लिए खड़े होने की एबिलिटी ही नहीं होती, सो इन देयर इनएबिलिटी टू एसर्ट देयर राइट्स they experience a sense of disadvantage and powerlessness vis-a-vis more powerful and dominant section who own land, are wealthy, better educated, and politically powerful. 12 which states are occupied by Adivasis of India? अब देखिए Adivasis of India कहाँ कहाँ रहते हैं ये आदिवासी. The greatest concentration is in the central states of India. Notably, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, Southern Bihar, the Western Ghats of Gujarat and Maharashtra, and Northern Andhra Pradesh. And there are smaller groups in the mountain areas of the south, notably in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka. The other concentration is found in the northeastern states, जो भी seven sisters हैं, असम, मणिपुर, नागालैंड, मेघालय, मिजोरम, त्रिपुरा एंड अरुणाचल प्रदेश. तो यहाँ पर भी इनकी concentration है. Significantly, as in most of the states, exceptions are Assam and Tripura, Adivasis are in majority. तो आदिवासीज जो है काफी ज्यादा है in most of the states. Thank you so much. I hope कि आपको सभी क्वेश्चन आंसर्स अच्छे से समझ आ गए होंगे. If you like my video, kindly share, like and subscribe. Thank you.